Shalom, today is March 10th, and we're in 156 days of the war between Israel and Hamas. We're watching together, Channel 12. As many Israelis are watching it in their living room, I'll help you here with the Hebrew. And the anchor begins about the criticism that Biden is giving towards Netanyahu. It's the hardest criticism, she says, since the beginning of the war, that Netanyahu is causing more harm than good to Israel, and also that Israel cannot allow herself another 30,000 innocent dead in the Gaza Strip. But first, to what was officially allowed to be announced today. Michael Gal, 29 years old, from Jerusalem, who fell in battle in the south part of the Gaza Strip. May his memory be blessed. So we're opening up with the relations first between Israel and America. HaMashber bein Netanyahu leBiden. Mashber is crisis. The crisis between Netanyahu and U.S. President Biden. So they say that Prime Minister Netanyahu says, I don't know what Biden is speaking about. And the reporter says that is actually just worsening the conditions between the relationship, because Netanyahu knows exactly what Biden is speaking about. Netanyahu knows Biden is requiring humanitarian aid to come easier from Israel, and also to plan the day after the war, to have more of a coherent plan for the day after the war in the Gaza Strip. And here to a quote from officials from the war cabinet. They say the frustration of Biden from Netanyahu has been increasing for the last several weeks. And if this continues, there's a real concern that the Americans will press on the brakes and will prevent from Israel completing, demolishing the Hamas battalions in Rafah, which is in Gaza. There's a real concern for the backup of America for Israel. And now they're showing here that it's the first time that we are hearing Biden expressing it in his own voice against Prime Minister Netanyahu. This is from an interview just last night in MSNBC. And he says he has a right to defend himself, and he has a right to continue to pursue Hamas. But he must pay more attention to the lives lost as a consequence of the military operations. He's harming Israel more than he's helping her. So this is on the major news channel in Israel, because so many Israelis believe Israel is actually dependent on America's financial aid for the military effort. Throughout the years, America has been helping Israel through airplanes, equipment, troops if needed. And Israel is concerned that we could lose the diplomatic and military U.S. backup. The story continues, and the reporter is showing an escalation of the crisis. They're showing the quotes back and forth, beginning from October 8th, through the dates, how it has escalated, and how the relationship right now maybe began with embracement, but it's not that situation right now. Now to the next story, that Ramadan, the holy month of the Muslims, begins tomorrow, actually tonight, and tomorrow is the first full day of Ramadan. And this can cause flaring up in the Temple Mount and also in Judea and Samaria. The readiness has increased. Many more troops are in Judea and Samaria. 28 troops in Judea and Samaria compared to 12 in the Gaza Strip. So that's how much Israel is concerned or is fearful over the stormy events that could happen because of Ramadan. So they're speaking here about here's the Temple Mount, and here the Muslims praying. They're speaking about the security readiness. The security forces are just getting backed up and ready for any event. The anchor is asking now Ohad Chemo, the reporter for the Palestinian Manners, about this Ramadan tension connected to Hamas. What is Hamas trying to do through the Ramadan? And he says, well, the strategy of Hamas is first that the American pressure will continue. They're hearing they're hearing Biden's criticism. They know about the stress in the relationships between America and Israel. Ismail Haniyeh, one of the Hamas leaders, is continuously calling Palestinians to come and worship in the mosque and the Temple Mount through this month. So the Temple Mount is a focal point here, but also Sha'ar Shechem Gate, that could be very much dangerous in this time. So there's a lot of reinforcement of troops, but really this report is just showing the Hamas's strategy to use Ramadan against Israel. Here's a Palestinian that says it was right to allow the Arab Israelis to come up to Temple Mount and pray during the Ramadan. And I hope there will be a ceasefire, this Palestinian says. Here we see soldiers ready in Temple Mount. They're saying actually the readiness of the Jerusalem police started 3 months ago already, arresting Palestinians that were getting ready to act in any terroristic way. And this Arab Israeli police officer said that we will focus towards anybody that wants to exploit the Ramadan month and hurt civilians, hurt security forces. We will stop them. And he's an Arab Israeli police officer. And amongst all this, there's an increase in incitement in the social media from Arab Israelis and from Palestinians against Israel or Israelis. The next story is about the hostage deal. They're saying that everybody was hoping it would come before the Ramadan and hostages will be able to be released in exchange for prisoners, Arab terrorists that are imprisoned in Israel. But it hasn't happened. There's a lot of pressure from the mediators, which is Qatar and Egypt, with Israel towards Hamas to come to an agreement. Hamas has not been responsive, and Qatar and Egypt are standing together with Israel, saying it's because of Hamas that there's no agreement. And it reads, there's an assessment in Israel that there is anger in the Gaza Strip against Sinwar because of the continuation of the war during Ramadan, the fact that he wasn't able to come to a ceasefire with Israel. So they're saying Sinwar is hoping to ignite the area, ignite Jerusalem, the Arab Palestinians in Jerusalem. Now to the north, Hezbollah has launched about 70 rockets towards settlements in the north. And the citizens that have been evacuated, they're losing their patience. She's saying, understandably. So there's going to be a report right now. We're going to see a report and footage about the attacks. So IDF is fighting back. Hezbollah is launching. Large barrages of missiles are shot from Lebanon to Israel. Hezbollah says that Israel attacked 4 civilians, innocent civilians, but Israel is saying, no, they were, maybe it was a woman and 3 kids, but these were activists in Hezbollah. The head of Metula, which is a big city up in the north, and he says we need to act against Lebanon completely. The IDF has to have all the permissions they need to just take care of it so that Israelis can come back into their homes. And really all of the mayors up there are just hoping so that Israel will bring back the peace to the northern border so that their children, there's a rocket in the air, so that their children can go back to schools on September 1st. Because right now there is absolutely no peace and no security in the northern border. And former General Israel Ziv is actually linking the war in Hezbollah, with Hezbollah to the war in Gaza. He's linking between the two. And he's also saying that Israel needs to fight Lebanon, not only Hezbollah, as Lebanon is supporting Hezbollah. And he's quoting the parliament there. For more updates and stories, go to allisrael.com. Follow us on our social media. Like this video if you liked it. And please keep Israel in prayer during this month of Ramadan starting tomorrow, because Israel is such an alertness with Judea and Samaria and Jerusalem being so sensitive right now. Thank you. This is Rotem Magen for All Israel News.